So, welcome to the Love is Blind UK Loose Lips crossover.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming. We just saw the after the altar episode yesterday. How was that watching that back for you?
Do you know what? Compared to the first season, when I was not the first season, but the season I was on, it was actually a pleasant experience because it gave me an opportunity to kind of, I don't know, get closure. I think that's what everyone was there for. And yeah, it was actually a nice experience watching it back. Whereas the first time around, you're kind of everything's up in the air. You don't know how stuff is going to be edited. Whereas this time, it was actually a lot more pleasant, from my experience anyway.
I mean, I think you can tell that from watching it. Like, it seems, especially you and Ashley, you were on much better terms than, say, for example, at the reunion.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've said it loads of times before. The reunion, I felt a little bit blindsided. I felt like I
Mm.
was going into the Dragon's Den. I thought me and Ashley were amicable. We went into the reunion, and then it was obviously, as you've seen, was completely different. I felt like I held my own in the reunion, but for me personally, I just needed this space just to kind of let the dust settle. And then I think from what you've seen, obviously, we kind of both went in like-minded heads, and we're actually both of us able to not kind of come to a level playing field because it's not what both of us intended. But I think we're able to be amicable and actually leave it on a positive note.
Yeah, so in the reunion, I know that the reasons that you guys were talking about for what caused the breakup, you were saying that it was like transitioning back from the show to reality. Is that because you're in this bubble and it's like a honeymoon period sort of thing, or?
So the experience, it's like nothing I have ever been through, or any of us have ever been through, and it's exactly as you said there. It feels like an extended honeymoon phase. Um, it's okay thinking about real life scenarios, how we're going to pan it out, how we're going to play it out, but it's not until you actually get out there and it's real, and then that's when you actually see what the struggles are, like
Mm.
like the distance, like the keeping the connection, keeping the spark, keeping that honeymoon phase going. Normally you've got time, but the nature of the beast, you haven't got time on Love Is Blind, so we
And
just had to go with it.
and do you think it might have been different if you had lived closer?
I think so. That was the biggest thing. I think I talked about compromise on the reunion, and what we both felt that we were compromising, but we were obviously well off from what the other person thought compromise was. For me personally, I thought compromise was we can move and live anywhere. It doesn't make a difference where we settle down, whatever works for us two. Whereas I think Ashley had it more in her head that she wanted to, not to speak for Ashley, but from what I got anyway, I felt that she wanted to be within an hour of where she currently was. Whereas maybe it's something we probably should have talked out a little bit further.
Yeah, I think so. There's this thing that I call the compromise gap.
Yeah,
And basically, essentially, you're compromising, she's compromising, but it's still not enough to meet in the middle because the things that you both need are too different. And so I think when it's like that, it's very difficult to place blame on anybody because each person in the relationship feels like they're stepping forward, which they are. Do you think the compromise was predominantly about the distance and taking the time to visit each other, or was it about other things as well?
do you know what? I actually really like that analogy because again, I've always felt that it's not my fault, the distance thing, and I never felt it was hers. I think, like you said, we were
Mm,
both kind of in that, so far off with the gap in the middle. Um, I think it was accumulated things. That there would probably be the main barrier,
yeah.
where we really struggled. But then there was stuff associated with that. So because we weren't always around each other and our jobs and everything else, it kind of just added on top of that. So we weren't able to figure life out together because the distance was that barrier. So little things like day to day, how we get to know each other and be around each other, we didn't have that opportunity. We tried, but
Yeah.
there's only so much you could do.
Yeah. But I mean, even that, there was moments where you were facing a potential compromise anyway, it seemed, in terms of living with each other and, I don't want to like completely rehash it, but like the food situation and stuff like that. But as you said, you reached a place of like amicability, and I wanted to ask you like, how do you think you and Ashley reached that place when that has probably been harder for some of the other couples that were in the experiment?
I always felt that me and Ashley were quite mature with all our conversations from the beginning all the way through. We're always open and honest. So whenever the dust settled, the reunion was over, we reached out to each other just from a perspective of, right, we need to do something about the divorce now. So I think because we were both had that same goal in mind, we still want to find people, or we still want to find somebody, and we kind of want to close that book on each
Yeah,
other's chapter.
you're
So
common
I
in
think
leaving each other.
exactly we found that we needed to find common ground, and that sole reason was, yeah, it kind of helped the process, to be honest.
And when you were watching after the altar back, was there anything this time around that like didn't get shown that you thought might have got shown, or that you were surprised not to see, or you were surprised to see?
Um, Not really, which was actually surprising because the first time around I was like, I'm sure that scene didn't go like that. The only one thing, and it's not even that much of an annoyance, to be honest, because it was actually a really nice way how me and Ashley ended things, yeah, and it was truly organic how it went down. Um, there was a part where I'm telling Ashley where I'm put myself back out there and I want to find someone, and I obviously got a little bit choked up. That wasn't actually for that. So where that moment of me getting choked up came from, we stepped outside. I asked her about her family and how she's doing, and she asked me about my family and specifically my mum. And I haven't actually put this out on any public forum, but at the time, my mum had stage 4 cancer, and then it progressed, and I actually lost her earlier in the year. So that was actually a really big trigger point to me. So I got worked up because she asked that question, and I turned to her and I turned to everyone. I says, "Look, everyone knows what this is about. This is the reason why I'm getting worked up. Can we take a beat and then carry on?" But obviously, that's TV gold. So they've used that to show that I was getting worked up. Not that actually, it was hard to tell. Actually, that I'm not going to lie, but at the same time, I don't want me to show an emotion when it's for my mum
Yeah,
and to be portrayed as something else, if that makes sense. But with
yeah.
that all said and done, I was happy with everything, and that scene was probably as nice as I imagined it in the moment.
I'm really sorry to hear about your mum. Like I lost mine when I was young too, so I really empathise.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I know that you spoke about that conversation being organic, but I did notice that in After the Altar, people were having conversations who I just would not put together. I think even you and Katisha were talking at one point, perhaps. You was talking to, or maybe it was you and Sarova, and I was like, I don't feel like I would ever see you two naturally talk to each other. Do you think they were trying to mix it up a little bit? Because I know also Jed was like, oh, it's like the boys and the girls are all separated.
So even going back to the main show, season 2, there's so many conversations because you can imagine there's so much material out there they just can't use, so they have to home in on different things. So Katisha was actually one of my Um, she was up there when we were in the pods. We got along really well. We've chatted on and off, Instagram messaging and stuff, and we've always been friendly. That scene or that moment with me and Katisha, you probably got the general dynamics of the room. There was a lot of awkward conversation. Everyone was there to get closure of some sort, and then there was a lot of heated conversations as well. I just felt that I, I don't know. In that moment, I went up to Katisha. I just felt she needed kind of a voice of reasoning, and just kind of, I probably needed it as well, just to kind of step away from the storm and just have a genuine moment with someone. So I can only talk from my experience, but nobody asked me to talk to her. I just felt that we both needed it in that moment.
Okay, yeah, no, because I actually quite liked it because it gives you, rather than talking to the same people and hearing the same perspective on your situation, it's nice to get like an alternative dynamic to the conversation. So when things went tits up with you and Ashley, Tisha and Demila and Javan, was there ever a moment where you're like, maybe me and Katisha?
Because simply for me, I think I, I'm not too sure. I think it's just that's closed now. You know, that whole Love Is Blind chapter for me. It's kind of, now that that final episode's done, that's me ready to move on. And I think if I was to rehash it with any of my connections, I don't know, just there's just too much dynamics. There's too much out there. Maybe if me and Katisha or one of the other girls met at a different place, different time, not in the show, it's there. But I just think no, it's not. It wouldn't be a good idea anyway.
No, I wasn't. I didn't mean so much now. I meant like back when it happened, and it was like, okay, well, it's obviously not working with Ashleigh. Katisha's not working out either. It was like, oh,
The thought does cross your head because again, you're in the pods with these girls for like hours upon hours. I think I worked out, me and Ashleigh alone were 10 hours just in the pods talking to each other. And then obviously, whenever you're seeing your top girls and they're seeing your top guys, it's kind of like, I don't know, you're accumulating so much time in the pods. It's exhausting. So you're obviously going to form connections, and that little train of thought would be in your head. Oh, maybe, see if there's anything there. But yeah, I think now, maybe back then, but now, yeah, probably not.
I actually thought it was longer that you were going to be in there talking to each other because if you think about it, like when you go on a normal date, that's maybe like 2 hours long. So you basically had 5 dates and then proposed.
Do you know what? It sounded better whenever I said 10 hours. I thought that was a big gap, but when you put it that way, it doesn't actually sound that long, does it?
Well,
Um,
'cause- but it's like an hour a day, aren't the pods like 10 days?
yeah, but again, on a first date, you might be there for 2 hours, but it's very much small talk. Whereas you
Mm,
go in there and you're just like,
yeah,
it's on full send, 100 miles an hour. Tell me this, tell me that. And honestly, you're just trying to find out everything and everything about them. And the time flies in as well. So one date, probably really realistically, you're probably on date number
three.
three by the time you get to your second date.
Yeah. Um, Now, obviously, this is loose lips, so I do want the tea. When you first came out, was there any other women that you were physically attracted to?
Physically attracted to, what, from the show or,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to think. So I would say Katisha, Tara, and Amy. They were the three that I was physically attracted to that caught my eye.
I'm like, I know that I met them all, but I'm just trying to remember which one.
I'm trying to think of the ones. I'm trying to think of the ones you know as well.
Well, I think I met most of them at the screening that
Oh, the
they had.
mixer, of course.
Yeah. Now, after the whole experience, looking back, what have you learned about yourself?
About myself. So whenever I was on there, I wasn't expecting myself to get as emotional and vulnerable. I think that's the biggest thing I've taken away from it because, again, in my line of work, I kind of have to put a hard face on everything, and then you automatically just kind of shut yourself down. I think for me is just put myself out there and just, what I mean, just kind of go with how I'm feeling and don't be scared to kind of show me emotion. Because again, I think especially in this day and age as well, you kind of put a barrier up sometimes to protect yourself, but just to let that down a wee bit.
Do you think you had a barrier up in the experiment then? Yeah.
I actually think Ashley brought that down. And that's one of the things I'll give to Ashley and I'll be grateful for because, yeah, she gave me that safe space and that's why I fell in love with her. So, yeah, I'm grateful for that. And she essentially taught me.
And this new girl, are we still together?
Sadly, not. No, we went to a couple of dates. We were seeing each other, but yeah, it's not working out. It didn't work out. I'm still trying to put myself out there again with the whole experience I went through Love Is Blind and then everything else that was going on in my life. I just don't think I was ready in that moment to actually put myself back out there with everything going on. My head was all over the place with my mum and stuff, and I just needed a bit of time. I think not long after it was all recorded, I've just kind of looked after number one and kind of done or stuff for myself. So yeah, but I think I'm in a good place now anyway because time's a healer.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can help you find someone. Just pitch yourself down camera number two. Tell us your best quality
My
and
best quality.
Uh-huh.
So my best quality, I would always say, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I always want to be the perfect gentleman. And because I'm old fashioned, I love my favorite term is courting. So that's all I want to do. I just want to find someone, court, and have mine, and they're forever, happy ever after.
That
Nearly
was a
got through that.
good answer. Ladies, did you hear that? He pays for the first, second, and third date because he's courting and he's traditional. Isn't that lovely?
100%.
And he said he won't take you anywhere free either, so you haven't got to worry about a walk or a park for a day, the beach. But you are in the military.
I am, yes.
Why?
Why am I in the military?
Yeah.
So, my dad, he was in the army. My granddad, they were in the army. Both served in the infantry, and I just felt like it was in my bloodline. It was something I always wanted to do, and I made a good career out of it.
That's
So
interesting.
I'm actually closer to my time of getting out now. So I think I've got 2 or 3 years left. So I have no idea what I'm going to do because it's all I've ever done. I love my
It's,
job. So
it sounds like a prison sentence because you're get out in 2 or 3 years.
yeah, it does when you put it that way. Basically, you do 22 to 24 years in the army, and then that qualifies you for your military pension. And then you kind of they give you opportunities. You get out, and you have to go find a new job.
Then how does it work if like you have to, and I'm just asking because I'm interested, but how does it work if you have to like then go work in a war that you don't agree with? Does that ever happen or no?
So I took an oath to the Queen at the time, obviously the King now, and basically, yeah, I work for His Majesty. So I kind of got to do what I got to do. Luckily, I've not had any disagreements so far.
Well, I mean, I've obviously never been to war, but I did grow up gay, so I feel like I know what it's like in the trenches.
You've been fighting all your life.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to do a quick fire dating questions round.
Right, okay. Bit rusty, but I'll go for it.
Yeah, don't feel like you have to take it like too seriously. And then
No,
at
it's all
the
right.
end, we're going to play a very quick game.
All right, sounds good.
If you were to do Love is Blind again, but you could only see one of their features, which feature would you pick?
Be their face, because I'm a sucker for a smile.
No, that's cheating. You can't have the whole face.
All right, the smile then.
The smile, fine. You get the. What is your biggest deal breaker?
My biggest deal breaker. Um, Somebody who has their own. They have to have their own interests, and they can't be lazy. They have to be like. They don't have to like everything I like, but they have to want to get out and do something, be a bit active.
What is your biggest ick, as in that you possess?
That I possess.
Yeah.
Um,
Time for some self-reflection, Billy.
yeah, no, you never look at your own nick. Um, apparently, I don't like cake. Can that be a nick?
What, not liking women who eat? Yeah, I would say that's a bit of an ick.
No, jokes aside, I'm not actually too sure. I'm stuck. I've gone.
Maybe you're a little strict in your regimens, your daily
That
regimes.
would be it. Yeah, yeah. Stick to my routine too much. There you go.
Yeah, we need a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
What's one thing that you secretly judge somebody by when you're on a first date?
Um, Probably their food order. I went on one date. Not what they're ordering, but I went on one date, and believe it or not, I actually love food. And she ordered like a plate of like mini burgers, and there was like three of them. She ate half of one and then sent it back. Like, oh, I'm done with that. Send it away. So yeah,
What,
to me that's a waste of food. She could have at least offered me it. You know what I mean? So
oh, she didn't offer you the food.
no, she just goes, "I'm done. Thank you very much." Send it away. So that
Oh.
would be that one.
Maybe she's one of those girls, you know, like how some girls like try not to eat on a date because they think like eating too much is unsexy.
But then you can't win because don't
No.
order it. You know what I mean? Just order something that you will eat. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you do another dating show like Perfect Match?
I'd be open to it. I wouldn't mind doing something a bit more lighthearted, to be honest, because it's kind of a lot of people don't believe you when they say, like, do you actually get married? It's a real marriage. And you go through a real divorce. So I wouldn't mind doing something a bit more lighthearted, fun, and potentially meet my person because I still want to find her. Like,
Okay. So maybe we'll see you on Perfect Match. If
yeah,
you
that'd
might,
be a good one.
you might have already recorded it. Who knows? Did you watch
Who
it? Did
knows?
you watch Sophie on there?
Yeah, yeah, she's paving the way. She was brilliant, wasn't she?
I didn't watch it, I'm afraid. Okay, so now we're going to play a quick game, very quick game. It's called Love is Blank.
Okay,
And then you are going to fill in the blanks with a word.
okay.
If a woman doesn't blank, I lose interest.
Train.
Fair enough. Open relationships are blank.
Mm, no go.
A no-go, okay. A woman shouldn't expect blank on a first date.
Um, Cake.
The least sexy thing to hear during sex is blank.
I thought you were bigger.
If my child was gay, I would feel blank.
Proud, regardless.
Isn't that sweet? An ally.
I feel like you're setting me up there.
I'm going to do it to everyone, so don't worry.
That's all right. I'll be intrigued. I can't wait to hear everyone's.
Threesomes with two women are blank. Threesomes with two men are blank.
A no go.
But see, I feel like it's actually a lot more common than straight men let on because they'll be like, yeah, come on, broski, come on.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, like the old high fiving.
yeah, so it's like, it's not like you know, they're getting involved with each other, but I feel like the actual setup of that happens way more often than people would admit.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of one of those, probably one of those where it's not so bad in the moment, like, but the thought of it, not for me anyway.
Fair enough. Fair
I,
enough.
I want if I'm with someone, I want to kind of order myself. You know what I mean? I don't like sharing.
Unless it's with another woman.
Exactly. Then there's more to share, I suppose.
You're just greedy, aren't you?
That's what it is. I like to have my cake and